How is everybody? Just let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Checking in, waiting for the stragglers. And let me know how you've been doing since last month. We did about 6 weeks ago, we did a 3-day masterclass on resetting. Thank you, Anita, for resetting the nervous system. Today is about embodied presence. And I'm super actually excited about today. And I will tell you why. All right. So it is 1 o'clock. We're going to get going, and then other people can hop along. As soon as I say that, more people keep hopping in. All right. So I'm super excited. One of my favorite topics ever to teach and learn about is the manifestation, or otherwise known as the co-creation process. And what it is it's bringing something from like the unseen realm, like let's say a future version of who you are, a vision for yourself, or something that you want, into the 3D world, into the now and here. And so the next masterclass is only 2 weeks away, because we're going to be talking about how to manifest and manifesting co-creation through the nervous system. However, here's the critical piece that a lot of people miss, is before you can fully embody the manifestation, and I'm going to use the word manifestation and co-creation process interchangeably, but before you can manifest, presence is needed. And that's why today we're doing a embodied presence masterclass, because it is a lot of people, they're like, I want to manifest this. I want, healing, relationships, money, my business to grow, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. They start there, when in fact the nervous system needs to be in the present moment before you begin, or else your results kind of get wonky. And the reason why it gets wonky is because your energy is not in alignment. Okay? So we'll go into that. But that is what's coming, right? We're talking about the presence needed to manifest what it is that you desire. Okay? It's the precursor to everything. And the degree to which you can be with this present moment, like in the now, is the degree which you're going to be able to transform your life, and then in turn, those people that you care about. And so as usual, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and write it in the chat. But we've heard before, it's the wisdom of the ages. All the great sages talk about presence and being in the present moment. And so why is this so important, right? Well, as I said, it is the present moment. It is right now where manifestation, or where you want to create, happens, right? What you want, whatever it is that you want in your future, isn't created in yesterday, right? It's created in the now. And so this is where you plant the seeds. There's a Chinese proverb that actually says the best time to plant a tree was yesterday, but the next best time is today. So, and I want you to know that where you've been, all the struggles that you've had, or the things that you've gone through, they help you up to now, but they also don't necessarily need to be where you're heading, right? You can create change into a new version of yourself and head in a different direction than you've been going, if that's what you want. Or you continue in the vein that you're going to, because you're doing really well, okay? And so we plant the seeds that we want to harvest later, but we plant them now. Right? We plant them, we water them, give them sun exposure, right? And you might have to do this over and over and over again, and you might not see anything for a while. You might not look at the dirt, and you might even be tempted to dig up your little plant. But if you dig up the little plant, then it gets disturbed and nothing grows, right? But every time you dig it up, it's harder for you to manifest. I believe it's the bamboo. It is the bamboo plant, but I can't remember how long it takes for the shoot to go above ground. It's something like, I believe, 5 years. But once that bamboo shoot goes above ground, it's one of the fastest growing plants. It can grow like many feet in a short amount of time. But to get above the ground, it takes a lot of work. right? So sometimes what we do is we give up while our seed is growing underneath and we don't see it rise above. We're like, we should see something now, right? But we don't. And we give up. So the thing is to be in the present so that you're continually cultivating and harvesting what you want in the future. So before we start to dissect out the present moment and what that means, we're going to first drop into our bodies. And because our bodies are here and now, right? In every moment you have a breath, your heart is beating. It is here, right? And we experience, our bodies are experienced through our nervous system. And so our body, our nervous system is the one that's experiencing the present moment. In the last month's masterclass that I was talking about, if you haven't watched it, you can still catch it on replay. I talked about the care process for nervous system regulation. And so the first step in the care process, in presence, in manifestation, in anything that you're going to, is to connect with your body. And so when it comes to presence, we're going to connect with our inner world. And why inner world? Because we spend a lot of time connecting to our outer world. So we want to see what our inner world has in store for us. So I want you just to close your eyes. Get yourself comfortable. And when you close your eyes, what it does is it turns your sight inward into you. And all you're going to do is simply notice and observe your body right now. Are there any areas where you're feeling tense or pain? What are your thoughts like? Are they racing? Are you having lots of thoughts coming up? Or are they slow or maybe empty? Your mind might be empty. And if you are having thoughts or just observe them, were they of the future, of the past? And I want you to go into your breath, and you're not changing anything, you're just looking. What's your breath like? Is it fast? Is it slow? Is it changing as you're observing it? Is there a specific pattern? Like, are you breathing in through the mouth, out through the nose? Or are you breathing in through the nose, out through the nose? Or maybe in through the nose, out through the mouth? Without having to change anything, just take note in your head. Your heartbeat. What is it like now? Maybe it's slowed down even since starting this exercise. And now that you have a general idea of what your body is doing, feeling, we're going to just take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth together. So you're going to take a deep breath in and all the way out. All the way in. And out. And the same thing, in and out. And what we just did, you can slowly come back to today, open your eyes, come back to now. We're just calibrating to the frequency of all of us. Because when there's one of us, there's a certain frequency. And then when there's 2, there's also another frequency. But when we come together in like this workshop environment, even though you're not here live, because I know a lot of you are watching on the replay, you are still part of this container. And so by taking the breath, we're calibrating to the frequency of the container that we created. When I write my workshops, even before I even present them, I write in my notes, like, what is the energetic container that I'm creating or that I would like for all of us to step into during this masterclass? So the container is created way in advance already. And so some people, they show up and they're like, oh my gosh, I heard this, the exact thing I needed to hear today. Or all these things have been happening the last, couple weeks. And then right now it's being explained. It's because the container, if you trace it back, was usually created a couple weeks ago, like when whatever madness is happening right now, because we just went through a change in the portal or the energetic portal of the world. And so chaos is happening. Even though things are all right, you may, like this morning, I was telling my daily dose of healing, or I will be, I recorded it today. I got to the office and I didn't have my keys. I had my husband's keys because I drove the car with, we both obviously had a set of keys. And I was like, oh no, I have his keys. He has my keys. But like, and it all worked out. He was able to drive me my keys. He could get into his office. I could get into my office. Everything was fine. And if your nervous system isn't able to react in the present moment or be in the present moment, you're going to go into reaction. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. And I can't, all the things. What if I'm late? What if all these things that you would go into, if you're not in the present moment, then your head will lead you to the past. It'll create stories about the future, and you're missing everything that's right now. And you create what's right now with the energetic state that you're in. So if I had gone into this morning going, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed out, which I didn't. I actually said, oh, well, I'm going to call him, see what happens. If he doesn't pick up, I'll have to call one of the girls at the office, like at home, and get him here early. And that was it. It's just, if you're not able to react in that state or respond in that state, not react, respond. If you're reacting, then you're creating with the frequency with which you're reacting. Okay? So there's a current moment, the present, happening right now, and right now, and right now, right? Like every single moment is the present moment. And embodied presence means how aware are you of the moment, right? So the beautiful part and intimidating part of this game, we'll call it, is that awareness is an infinite game, right? You can always build more awareness. So there's no limit to the amount of awareness that you can have because it's always changing, just like you are, right? You're always capable of more growth and more awareness. And every time you uncover another part of yourself, there's more to grow. Okay? And so it's an infinite game that you're playing. So even if you attained enlightenment and understood everything, like that would not, there would, and you're still here, there would be more purpose for you to uncover, right? To see how far that goes, right? So some people, some of us are more logically inclined, right? You want to see like how far you've come. You want to track your awareness or something. So how do you do that? So because it's an infinite game, you can create your own game within that game. And you track your awareness by giving yourself, let's say, a number from 1 to 10 based on where you are, the version of who you are in this moment. So let's say 10 would be the most aware self that you have. And 0 would be like, I'm doing 80 things and I have no idea what's going on and I just want to go sleep. As you move through the day, just grade yourself once in a while. Where am I on my scale of least to most present? And we're not going for perfection, right? Because again, it's an infinite game, but we're going for, can I be a little more aware today than I was yesterday, right? It's just to move a little more across the gradient. So there are some of you who I know like to measure your progress. And so you've been asking me, how do I measure something like awareness? It's just you choose a number of what 10 out of 10 would be for you. You choose what 0 would be, and then you just grade yourself. And you go, can I do better than I did yesterday? Was I more present today than I was yesterday? Okay. So in the present moment, so in the here and now, there's also another presence in the moment. I was talking earlier about how 1 + 1, like how all of us being here has something greater than if just one of us was here, right? Because we're in this container. It's another presence that's created that wouldn't have been created or wouldn't have been here if it was just me by myself, okay, or two of us. But because all of us have an energy about us, we're all creating another element, right? So in the first exercise, we were connecting to our body. That's the C part of the care process. The next is to bring acknowledgement or awareness, right? And so when I had you close your eyes, it was easier for you to connect to the inner world, right? Now that we have access to do something to the inner world, I want you to keep your eyes open, okay? And this is going to be a fun and tricky one. So this is a good challenge for you. I want you to notice or to see in this moment if you can sense another party, another presence here, right? There's you, there's me, and there's all of us. What is the energy of all of us? And if this is your first time doing this, and if you're confused or anything, that's okay. You get the replay of this, you watch it again. But there's me. See if you can sense you, right? Because there's you. See if you can sense me, because even though you're, I'm staring at Ellen's beautiful face, and there's the rest of you are on, don't have your cameras on. I can still sense your presence. I still know you're here, right? And so I want you to sense you. I want you to sense me, and then I want you to sense all of us. Okay? And now, because we each are in our own world, we're going to start to look at things through our world. So as you were observing yourself in the connection exercise, there was your body and your nervous system that was experiencing. And then there was also you, a version of you that was observing, right? So there were two presences there. There was your body as a presence, and then there's the seer, the observer as a presence. And I want to know how aware you are of the version of you that's watching. Okay? How aware are you of the version of you that is observing and watching everything? And then finally, to make things even more confusing for us and more lovely, there is another presence. And that other presence, I want you to see if you can feel it. It is the presence of, and you can fill this name in with whatever you would like, the presence of creation, presence of God, spirit, your higher self, the universe. When we manifest, it's called co-creation. It's a co-creation process because we are creating, right? We are creating with the creator. We are creating with the future version of who we are. We are creating with universe. We are creating with nature, God, spirit, source, whatever it is that you want to call it. But in this moment, there is the presence of source that is here too. There's you, there's an observer, there's me, there's all of us, and then there's source too. Because we're never here fully alone. And so the more that you can co-create with the creator, the more in alignment you will be to the whole process. Right? And that's why we call it co-creation. The process involves you taking action, right, in the here and now, and also the universe, God, spirit, source, whatever, meeting you. right? Have you ever had the experience where you were like, okay, I've done everything I can, and it's like the rest is up to the universe, right? The timing or something, just the right person at the right time appears, or what you need to hear is coming in now. That's because you were creating with the other source. You're creating with God, spirit, whatever it is that you want to call it. You're creating with another presence. And the more you are in connection, in alignment with the presence, with that nature, with that source, the more clarity you will have, not only in this moment, but the more energetically balanced, aligned you are to call in what it is that you want. So the question is, how present are you with the different presences in the now? How present can you be? At first, you might not even notice that there's anyone other than you. And so if you just see your observer, hey, there's somebody watching me, right? It's me watching me. Wow, that's interesting. And then you add in the presence of all of us, and humanity, and then you add in source to it. And the more you can be with all those presences, I don't even know if that's a word, but presences, and the more intentional you can be, you can tap in to your own personal power. Because everything, the present moment is about the power that you have. Okay? The energetic state with which you experience the world tells you what you experience. So if you are in a poor energetic state and you experience an event, you can remember it as trauma because of the energetic state that you were in. However, if you experience that same event and you were in an energetic rich state, it wouldn't be traumatic to you. And I'll give you a simple example. Let's say you get out of bed, you stub your toe, you're like, ow, you look at the clock, you're late for work, you're like, oh my goodness, you run to the shower, you bang your head on the door, you're like, this is going to be a bad day right away, right? You're not in an energetic good state, right? Let's say you wake up, you found out that you won the lottery and you're celebrating and you are so excited, you bashed your foot into the same thing that you crashed into before, and you get so excited, you hit your head on the door. Do you care that you hit your head? Absolutely not. You just won the lottery. You don't even notice. You even laugh at it. So the same events that can happen might translate into trauma, might translate into tension, might translate into frustration, whatever it is that you're feeling based on the energetic state that you're in. And if you feel like you're the only one in the situation, that's one energetic state. If you feel like you can relate to others, so we're tapping into the us and the more, then that's another state. If you know that this is happening for you in this moment and you are with your creator, wow, how much energy do you have to tap into then? Your personal power increases with the number of people or presences that you are aware of. And the degree to which you want your life to change is the degree that you need to be willing to be present with all of who you are, right? And be present with who? Be present with yourself. Be present with with other people. Present with your visions. Present with your body. And presence means it not avoiding something, not resisting it. If you're in pain, you don't say, "Oh, I'm not in pain. It doesn't hurt." It goes, "Hey, hello, pain. Thank you for being here. Let's have a chat. You're welcome." Right? You don't get your taxes and go, "I am going to hide. I don't want to know anything about what's happening in my finances." And yet you have this dream of, building a 6-figure business or a 7-figure business, right? And you're like digging your hand in the sand when you get your tax sheet or whatever it is. So what you resist will keep coming back to you until you are willing to be present with it. And your resistance, that is your gateway. That is your portal to the next version of yourself. So all of us spend our time avoiding, trying to get away, trying to run away from, burying, trying to cut out all the different things that we want to resist or that we don't want to see. And that is actually the gateway to the next level of who you want to be. Isn't that crazy? In healthcare, especially, we've got all the pills to make you not feel it, to make you not aware of it. We can even cut that part of you out, when in fact, that is the very thing that gets you to the next level. Right? One of my superpowers, if you've worked with me before, is my ability to be present and hold space for people. People are crying in my office all the time. Maybe you've done the same. People have been telling me I need to invest in the Kleenex stock because we go through so much of it. We buy it at Costco, so it doesn't matter. But that there's a way to create presence and to hold space for someone, right? And then one of my biggest weaknesses, though, is getting distracted because that takes me away from my presence. So presence is a gift, and I can get really easily distracted because there's a lot going on, right? Think of how you are with others. How present are you when you're talking to them? How with them can you be? My kids and I started, this was months ago, on the weekends, they can ask me to put away my phone. So I'm not on it a lot, but if I am on it and, let's say they're watching a cartoon, then they don't care that I'm on my phone because I don't need to watch a cartoon. However, if they need me or want me in any way, I just throw my phone. And it lets them know that they are more important. Like I ask them, like, do you feel better if mommy just puts away her phone? And they every time is like, yeah, I know that I'm more important than the phone. They don't mind I'm on the phone, but if they want me, they have me. I throw it away, put it away. And so we actually have a deal, and they can ask me permission to just let go of my phone, right? Of course, if I can't because I'm doing something for work, I let them know, and then we create another time that is just for them, right? It's not an all or never thing. However, they know that they are more important. How important are the people in your life? Do they know that they are important to you? Right? So we can all sense consciously or even unconsciously when we're actually being heard, right? And when someone is fully with us. You may not think that, but you know when someone's here fully with you. And then, so the degree with which you can be present with your body and with your nervous system, and then with the people who matter to you, that will be the next level of growth for you. Presence comes before the manifestation. The way that you're feeling in your body, that's what does the manifestation, right? So how present can you be with what you feel, right? And I want you to know that presence is messy. Presence is not fun because not always. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But presence is part of the human experience, and the human experience is messy. So if some of you know, I've been away. I was on vacation with my family, and we went on a cruise. Not really my vacation because I get motion sickness. However, everyone else likes it. So here I am, there I am on a boat. And it was literally the best of times. My children will have core memories that they will remember forever. And the absolute worst of times. We ran into 2 storms. And one of the days, the storms was so bad, it rocked the entire ship. Like the ladders were falling. My kids were like, what is happening? When we were trying to sleep, there's like noise everywhere. You could feel the boat go, roar, roar. I was sick the entire day, throwing up. And so it was the worst of times. And what happened in the worst of times, well, first of all, my husband jokes because he said, you're probably the only one that lost weight on the cruise because I didn't eat for 2 days because I was throwing up. However, you get to a point where I knew I couldn't get off the boat. I told him I want off the boat. He's like, well, honey, we're kind of in the Atlantic Ocean and there's nowhere you can go. They're not going to just let you out, right? I'm like, I know. So I had to surrender. I literally went, okay, I surrender. See, you are like, I am not in control here. The ocean is in control. God's spirit source is in control, not me. Right? I think I can be in control. No. The only thing I probably could have controlled was not going on the cruise. However, I would have missed my entire family. So even when you can't go anymore, that's when you leave it up to the universe. Right? When you've done your part, the universe takes over and does theirs and does the rest. Right? And in those moments, how did I get through it? Well, I knew at some point we would go hit land. That's bound to happen. So the waves were going to eventually stop. So I said, can I live in this moment? Yes. Am I okay in this moment? Yes. Am I okay in this moment? Yes. Okay, got to go throw up, but I will be okay in the next moment because it still feels better. So moment to moment if you have to. All right? Every single moment. If that's how you need to exist for a little bit and know that it's not forever, then one day at a time. And like I said, on the plus side, I didn't eat. I went on a cruise and lost weight, right? And also knowing that I could get through anything. I could get through the hardest of the days. Right? Have you ever had moments where you didn't feel like you would get through and yet you made it through? What we don't remember is that we made it through. We were strong enough to make it through. So on your hardest days, you've made it through every single one of your hardest days. Every one of them, because you're still here. If you're listening to me, you've made it through all of them. Right? So in the presence of messy, can you stay in the mess? Can you stay in the resistant? Can you be with the parts of you that want to throw up? Be with you for the parts that want to run away? That is presence. Right? And the way to reframe it, no matter what is happening, is that being present is your gateway, is your portal to create to your desires. Knowing that I could make it through the work, and afterwards we talked to like crew members and stuff, and they said that was the worst they'd been on. You could see like people literally falling sideways and everything. And I was like, wow, I made it through the absolute worst of storms that even the crew has not made it through. Wow, there's power in that. And I knew I grew from that experience. So growth isn't fun, as we know. Sometimes it is, but a lot of times the more you grow most at the bottom, right? In that moment when your knees are on the ground and you're like, get me off this boat, that's when you grow the most because you can't and there's nowhere to go. And so you have to be with you. And the more that you can be with you, even the messy parts, the more that you can create on the other side. Right? Everything you want is on the other side of it. You just got to go through. So the more present you are with your body, with your pain, the more power is there to unlock. How much power have I unlocked in knowing I made it through the worst storm that they've seen, and I made it on the other side. And I went in knowing I get motion sickness. So already I was like, this is not going to be fun. On the other side. Right? When you get a massage done or when you get body work done or go into something, how do you go in? Do you set like an intention beforehand? When I get a massage, I had one a couple days ago. I set in an intention. I tell my body, I said, let go of anything that no longer serves you. And I ask Spirit God, I say, guide the hands of the person working on me to show me where I need to let go of tension. Right? I breathe and bring breath into the areas to make it easier for my body to let go. I ask it, I talk to it. So when I'm getting body work done, I am present with my body and saying, what is it that you need me to hear right now? And the more you strengthen this muscle, the presence, being present is like a muscle, right? The more you strengthen it, what happens when you have a vision of what you want for the future? How present can you be with that? If you've been practicing presence all along, you can call in that future version of you and create that because you've been practicing your presence. Right? So the more you build the muscle, the more you can use it at any time. Right? So Allow yourself to play in that. Play in what is possible in this moment. Like, what is possible if I can co-create in this moment with God, with spirit, with nature, with the universe, right? The same seas that got me ill, if you're surfing on those seas, you're having a blast. So my daughter apparently has sea legs, meaning nothing bothers her. We were on we were on the lowest deck, so it was the least wavy. And then I call it cruise camp, but Adventure Ocean is on the top floor, the highest. And when you go up there, the whole thing is swaying back and forth. It's indoors, so she was safe. I couldn't even go up there. That's how wavy it was. And my son was like, yeah, I want to go because they love it. So my husband took them both up. And when they got to the top floor, my son turned green, literally. So he came back downstairs with me. But my daughter, not a single problem. She was having fun. People were falling, like going sideways, and she was running down the hall. And I was like, oh my goodness. She was eating food. The rest of us were looking at it like, I can't even see food right now. Anyways, she was surfing the waves. I was getting thrown around in the waves. However, there was a time where it was still wavy and the pool was open. And when I was in the pool, when I was in the waves, it was like a wave pool, but I didn't feel sick. I was in the water, in the element, and there were waves around me and the whole boat was moving, but I didn't feel sick at all. So when you are when you are with the presence of the water, one with the water, I didn't feel it. So in the present moment, what can I heal now? What's possible for this moment? What's possible if I co-create with the universe? Right? We can overestimate what we can do in a day. You might have a to-do list that's 80 things long, but we underestimate what we can do in a lifetime. Right? What if in this moment you went all in on you? What if you bet on yourself? What would your life look like? What if you started the business that you've always wanted to start? What if you healed what you've always wanted to heal? What if you made the decision in this moment to get into the best shape of your life? What if in this moment you decide to have a conversation with God? What if in this moment you realized your purpose? Right? What if this moment you told somebody that you love them? What is possible for you in this moment if you chose the present moment and to tap into all that is available to you right now? Right? There's a lot of moments in the day. It's easy to get lost or to wish a few away, but it also only takes one moment to remember how important that moment is. If you look back in the different moments of your life, right? The moment that you lost somebody you cared about, the moment that a relationship ended, the moment you said yes, the moment that you realized that you got diagnosed with whatever it is that you're going through, right? The moment you won something, the moment you said enough of this, every one of those happens in one moment, right? So, and how many people at the end of their lives wish they could trade everything that they had to have more moments? And yet we have these moments and we're like, okay, I wish I was something else. I wish, I was somewhere else. I was with somebody else, right? But the more that you seize like the golden nuggets out and squeeze everything out of the moment, the more you have in life, right? And that's not even just have as things. The more that you are in co-creation with your life. So now that you're aware of the importance of the moments, what do you want to create in your life? That's something to journal about. That's something, for deeper inquiry. So this sets the stage for our March. It's called Embodied Manifestation Masterclass. It's going to be in 2 weeks. It's free. It's March the 5th. Okay. If you love manifestation as much as I do. This is going to be a really fun masterclass in a couple weeks, and you're going to require all to bring presence into it. So what I want you to practice in the next 2 weeks is being aware of the different levels of presence or different presences that are in the moment with you right now. Okay? So throughout the day, that's what you're going to be focusing on. All right? What is source calling me to do? How can I be fully with this person? And then watch the creation that happens from it. Watch what happens when you can tap into that. As some of you know, I have a daily dose of healing group, and basically it's a self-led program. It's online. I leave daily trainings for people, okay, for everybody in the group, and we're going to be doing the entire month. We're going to be talking about manifestation. So if you do enjoy manifestation, then along with the masterclass that I'm doing, I'm also doing 31, however many days there are in March, 31 days of manifestation training in that portal. Okay, and if you're part of the Daily Dose of Healing, you also receive all the teachings from the previous month. So there's like 170 something recordings in there. So I will send out a link for the free masterclass that's coming up. If you also want to join the Daily Dose of Healing group, you're more than welcome to. And again, this whole month has been about embodying presence in the group. So 28 days of training on that. And then next month is manifestation. All right. Are there any questions? Anything that is coming up for you guys? I'll just give it an extra second in case somebody wants to. You can either take yourself off of mute, or you can type it in the sidebar if you would like. So a reminder, today is the embodied presence. In 2 weeks, same time, same bat channel, we're going to be talking about manifestation and co-creation. And I see something in the chat, and what is happening with my computer? Okay. Oh, it says thank you. Well, you're very welcome. All right. So if no one has any more questions, then I'm going to see you in 2 weeks. We're going to have lots of fun, and have a wonderful day. Bye.